Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Hennessy, and I created this channel to talk through all things investing in Dominican Republic, working from home, and traveling. So, in today's video, I want to talk about the number one thing you should do once you set up your Airbnb listing. So, you've purchased your property in Dominican Republic, you are setting up your listing, and there's like certain things that you just are not sure if you should set up or not. But I'm going to tell you the number one thing you should make sure you set up and why it's important. So once you set up your listing, the number one thing after you set up your listing that you want to um, try to set up is your automated or scheduled messages. This is so important because, Airbnb, once you start getting your bookings, they're able to give you a review. The better reviews you have, the more it would keep you on top of the page when people are searching. One of the things that people can rate you on is your communication. And trust me, things could go wrong, but if you maintain great communication, there are guests that would still give you a 5-star review. So I'm going to walk you through 3 messages that you should set up and schedule them within your listing to make sure that you have great client communication, and that you are, maybe not, especially if you're managing yourself, you're not putting it all on you to have to manually write these messages every time. You set them up once, you say when you want them to be scheduled out. And Airbnb, as soon as you get your booking and the reservation is coming up, it will send these messages out. And that way, you're keeping clear communication with your clients, and it's low effort on your side because you only have to set it up once and you don't have to manually be writing out these messages. Now, I think this is very, very important and it's so easy to do. I know like a few weeks ago, I booked a place and the person like didn't send me no information. I had nothing. I didn't know what was going on. I had to reach out to him. Then he's like, "Oh, we're actually going to reach out to you via WhatsApp and they're going to send you the information." Now, yeah, granted, via WhatsApp, the person sent me all the information and it was very clear and I was able to understand it, but it was like, one, you waited for me to hit you up, right? Like, shouldn't be waiting for me to hit you up because you're the host, you should be communicating with me. And two, you could easily be automating all this and not have to add people's number on WhatsApp, to send them messages, to send them all the information. Like, this is why Airbnb, with its platform, makes it really easy for you to set up these things. So, you want to take advantage of the tools that platforms like Airbnb are giving you to make your life easier. And of course, this is if you want to manage your own property, or even if someone else is managing it for you, you want to make sure that they have these things in place because, again, Airbnb would keep you on top of the listing page if you have a lot of views going to your page, and if you have great reviews. The better your people's experiences are with you as a host, the more the platform will keep you on top of the search page when someone is searching for a particular Airbnb. So let's get into it. So the first message that you want to set up is your confirmed booking message. So, when you set up your Airbnb page, most of the time it's going to tell you to just accept bookings without them having to send you a message. Like, Airbnb wants to make it real automated, right? Before, I remember when it first started. Now, I've been on the traveling end of Airbnb for years now. Like, pre-COVID, I mean, my first trip on Airbnb was to LA, then I went to Cuba. Like, I've used Airbnb way back when it first started. And when it first started, a lot of hosts or like the platform would have you send a message to the host to let them know what was the purpose of your visit. Now, with a lot of the automation nowadays, you don't have to do that unless the host decides that they do want a message from the guest. But if you don't want a message from your guests as to like why they're booking you and you just want the reservation to come in automatically, then all they have to do is like reserve. And what you want to do is set up a message that lets them confirm that, hey, you saw the reservation, you got it. And, thank you for booking. So my check in, I mean, sorry, my confirmed booking message is as follow. And I'm going to put this maybe somewhere here. So I say hi, and then in within the messages in Airbnb, which this is why it's like so easy to automate and make it as automated as possible with the client's information. You can input a code within the message that lets the platform know what you want to be inputted in that message. So in this case, I have hi, and I want to input the guest's first name. Like, obviously, this is something that is dynamic. It's going to be based on the person's information. So I have a code there to be able to let the platform know that every time I get a booking, please add that person's name within the message. And that makes it like, customizable. Like, you get it and you're like, oh, yeah, it's for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a generic message, it has the person's name, it's personalized to them, right? And that's important because that's also part of the guest experience. So I have hi, the code for guest first name, and I have thank you for booking. In this case, I'm showing the message for my Valladolid apartment. I have House Valladolid. I am looking forward to hosting you. Now, House Valladolid was just a name that I came up with my property. I sort of when I started on Airbnb, I didn't do this, but as I started to, I guess, try to expand in a way, as you guys see, my username is hosted house. So I wanted to play on my username with the properties that I am marketing, that are mine, that I am going to be hosting people. So I have house, and then I usually put the location because it just makes it easier to follow. So I have like House Kumayasa, which it's in El Dia de Kumayasa in La Romana. In this case, I have House Valladolid, which is in Valladolid, right? And then the house is just based on my username hosted house. So I put thank you for booking with the name of the property, right? Whatever the name of the property is that you have. And then I put that I am looking forward to hosting you, right? I'm looking forward to hosting them. And it's a simple message. But the fact that, one, you're putting the person that's booking their name within there makes it personalized. It makes them know that, hey, you received the booking and you're aware. And then the schedule for this, so I have it scheduled out that once the booking is confirmed, right? So the action is that someone books my property within 5 minutes of them booking, then this message is sent out, and that happens automatically. It books literally; they don't have to send me a message, and I then send that message that I'm not manually writing. It just sends out automatically. So that's the first message that I would tell you to set up. It just gives, good customer service. You're letting them know that, hey, um, I am aware of this booking. The second message that I think you should set up is a check in message. Now, the check in message, at first, I've learned over time. I do have like a check in guide that Airbnb lets you set up where you put all the information that people would potentially need to be able to check in to your property. So you're putting in the location, you're putting in how they're able to access the property, you're putting in, what else? Wi-Fi information. You're putting in um how to use, like, if it's a smart lock, like it tells you, like, input the process on how they can use the smart lock, because not everyone has used one in the past. So you want to be able to have like clear instructions there. So I do have that guide. And over when I first started, right, I used to just put like a, hey, I'm excited to host you. Check the check-in guide for instructions. And then everyone used to be like, oh, okay. And then last minute, the day of check-in, they were hitting me up, asking me for the same information that's within the guide, right? So instead, what did I do? I was like, you know what? I'm going to just make the check in message a little bit longer. And granted, yes, it's longer, but it has all the relevant information that you will need to be able to check into my property. So that way, I am providing you the information. It's in a clear way. And it's also in a message. So that means that, sometimes people don't have internet access. So maybe they have this message save and they can go back to it versus like having to get into the check-in guide. It's just all there. So this check-in message reads as follow. So hi, again, I'm using the code for uh guest first name to make sure that it's like personalized to them. Then I am super excited to host you. The check in instructions shall now be available via trip details and also sharing below. So, again, letting them know that yes, it is available through the check in details. They have a check in guide, but I also wanted to share the information below just to make it like easier to access. So, the first bullet point is friendly reminder that you can check in, and this is going to put the check in date anytime after 3 p.m. So for my check in, I have that anyone can check in after 3 p.m. So I want to put in the date that they're supposed to check in just so that they can confirm like on their side. Cause trust me, that's another one that you'll see that people just make mistakes. So you want to make sure that they know. Let's say that it's I don't know, they're supposed to check in March 1st. You want to show, hey, you can check in on March 1st after 3 p.m. Also letting them know and reminding them of the check-in time because I've had people that would then hit me up the day of and be like, um, hey, I am here and it's like 12 p.m. And it's like, no, no, no. Check-in is at 3 p.m. So see you then. So you want to make sure that's clear. Again, utilizing Airbnb and the way that they have their coding set up, I want to put my second bullet point, which is directions. And here, as you guys see within the message, it doesn't say anything. Why? Because the code that I am using is direction. Now, this is a code that pulls from your check in guide. So, again, once you set up your check in guide, you want to utilize that to then go into this check in message that you're setting up. So, I have directions and then the direction of the code, which is going to, in the actual message, it won't have that code. It'll actually input the information from the check in guide. In this case, for direction, within my checking guide, I have two things that I say for direction, which is, you can click on this link. They can easily click on the link and go to maps, or you can go to Google Maps and type in, and, for this example, put the name of the condominium that I have the apartment in, and it's able to come up. Now, a quick note with directions and check in instructions for me, at least in particular, is that I make sure to let them know that this is only able to be used through Google Maps, right? Because I've had people, and this has actually happened to me as a guest. I would search directions through like the iPhone Maps app, and it doesn't give me the right directions. It would send me elsewhere. Then I get there, and then I'm hitting up the host, and I'm like, hey. I don't see this property, and I'll be freaking out like that they scam me, but really it's because maps is not really like used in DR, or I guess it doesn't have like the right location for things. So I like to use Google Maps. In this case, I put a note with directions saying this can only be utilized through Google Maps to let them know. Outside, obviously, for Bayaiv, it's pretty easy because the condominium already has like a Google Maps page. So of course, utilize that. But like, let's say for my house in La Romana, I actually registered the location in Google Maps to make it easier, and I have like a name for it that you can search through Google Maps because I just found it that it always used to be very difficult for people to arrive again because sometimes you just don't have the right directions in DR. So doing something as simple as just registering your location through Google Maps is gonna like save you a lot of time because then you can say, hey, if you search so and so name, in this case, if you search House Bayaive, which House Bayaive is not registered because the condominium is actually registered in Google Maps. I didn't have to do that, but I'm just giving this as an example. I register House Bayaive with the location, the coordinates, and then if I tell someone, hey, search on Google Maps, House Bayaive is going to come up, and then you can like easily, get directions. The third bullet point that I have here is check-in method. As you see here, there's another code there, right? So it is utilizing the check-in guide and inputting that information. So, within the check in method, I let them know that, I have a smart lock. it's self check-in. Of course, they still need to, at least for Valladolid, I would tell them, hey, check in with security so they can be able to guide you to your right parking space. And then in terms of like the apartment, I let them know what building the apartment is located, the number of the apartment, and that it's self check in. So it has a smart lock, and all they have to do is again follow the instructions as you see here, like my bullet point there. If you need guidance on how to use the door code, you can find that under trip details, how to get inside. Now, under trip details, how to get inside, I have a step-by-step guide to let them know how to utilize the smart lock, right? If you guys know, if you have a smart lock, you have to first put your hand over it so it can like kind of turn on and register, and then you put the code in, and then you have to hit the check mark to actually be able to open it. So that instruction is within the guide. I don't input it here, but I let them know that they can find it on the trip details just in case. Again, I'll probably show like what this message looks like because it is a little bit longer when the actual messages send out, only because I have again that they could check in with security. It's going to find them their parking spot. I put the number of the parking spot that they can actually park in, the building, the apartment, all that good stuff. And then lastly, just ending with, please let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. Thank you. So that's my message. And this, I schedule it. Of course, the action is someone has to be checking in, right? Um, the schedule for it is one day before. So if someone is checking in tomorrow, the message then gets sent out today, and I have the exact time, 9 a.m. So I'm sending it out 24 plus hours before they have to check in, just to make sure that they can review the message and let me know if they have any questions. Now, the last message that I have for my properties are a checkout message. So, checking out, as important as checking in, I want to make sure that, everything is okay and they're following instructions. So, in this case, again, hi, the person's first name to personalize it. I hope you enjoyed your stay at House Valladolid. This is a friendly reminder that checkout is at 12 p.m. Below are the checkout instructions. I also put a note in there just to make sure that they can give me a review, and this serves as like a reminder. So I put any feedback you have about the apartment or of me as a host would be greatly appreciated. As as I always look to continue to improve and provide great service. If you enjoyed your stay, please leave us a review. Again, trying to let them know that, please leave me a review, because sometimes they don't. And it sucks, like the way, again, like I said, the platform you grow based on, providing good service, having a lot of reviews. So I put that there. And then I put, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. And as you see here, I have checkout instructions attached, which checkout instructions, again, it's a code. So it's going to take the information I have within my checkout instructions that I put within platform, and it's going to just insert it there. Now, my checkout instructions are pretty straightforward. I ask to please turn off the lights, please turn off the AC, right? Because electricity is expensive in DR. So I just ask to please turn it off, to make sure all windows and doors are locked, and just close the door. Like that's it. That's all I ask. In my house, because it's actually I do have a lockbox, so you take the keys out and open everything. I do let them know to please use the same code that I provided to insert the keys back in the lockbox. But here, they just need to turn everything off and close the door. And I have this scheduled out again if someone is going to go check out, and I have the date of 9 a.m. Now, I've been debating with this one whether I should change it or not. So far, I mean, not too bad. I feel like 9 a.m., people know that they have to normally check out like around 12. So I feel like you just naturally end up waking up and you see the message there first thing, and you're like, okay, let's prepare to check out. I've been debating if I should change that to be like the day before they should check out, but so far, I mean, it's been okay. So these are the three messages that I think are very important. So once you've set up your Airbnb listing, just make sure that you are setting up these three messages. They're going to save you so much time on your end. You're not always just like having to write out these messages for everyone. You can automate them, set them up once, set up the schedule, and they're pretty much good to go. So I do want, I guess, I don't want to show too much of the information of my apartment, but I guess this is like what the message looks like. I'm gonna insert it here. This is what the final check-in message looks like. As I mentioned, it was like way longer um than you see just because of the coding of the messages, but this is what the check-in message would look like. Well, I think that's it. I hope this video was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are and anything else that you think I should cover about setting up your listing on Airbnb. See ya.